Have you ever sat at your kitchen table, staring at your bills, wondering how you'll make ends meet? You've worked all your life, you've paid your dues, and now, in your retirement years, every dollar counts more than ever. And then, you hear that the age pension, the lifeline for so many seniors in Australia, is about to change again. Big changes. Payments that could affect your weekly groceries, your medication, even whether you can turn on the heater without worry. That's exactly why today's video is so important, because this September, Centrelink is rolling out new age pension payment updates, and if you or someone you love relies on the pension, you need to know what's coming. The government says these changes are designed to help, but what do they really mean for you, for your wallet, and for your peace of mind? Before we dive into the details, I want to take a moment to welcome you here. This channel is built for you, for everyday Australians who deserve clear, honest, and simple explanations about the payments and benefits that keep life going. If you find this information helpful, please do me one small favour. Hit the subscribe button right now. By subscribing, you'll never miss important updates that could make a difference in your life or the life of someone you care about. The age pension isn't just another government program. For hundreds of thousands of seniors, it is the difference between security and struggle. Think of it this way: when food prices climb, when rent increases, when fuel costs go up, your pension check often feels smaller, even if the number on paper doesn't change. That's why each adjustment matters so deeply. This September's update is not just about numbers on a page. It's about the meals on your table, the heat in your home, and the medicine in your cabinet. It's about dignity in retirement. And because the pension touches so many lives, changes ripple through families and communities. Sons and daughters who help their parents, grandparents who provide care for grandkids, even small local shops where seniors spend their pension money. All of these are connected. So when we say big changes are coming this September, it's not just government talk. It's about your daily life, and I'm here to walk you through it step by step. Before we look at the new rules, let's remind ourselves what the age pension is. The age pension is a regular payment from the Australian government through Centrelink. It's designed to support older Australians who no longer earn a full wage, but not everyone qualifies. To receive it, you need to meet certain rules: your age, your residency in Australia, and your income and assets. Some people get the full pension, others get part of it, depending on their circumstances. This is why every change matters, because depending on how much you own, how much you earn, and your living situation, even small adjustments can mean more money in your pocket or less than you expected. One of the most important things to know is that pension rates don't stay frozen forever. They get reviewed and adjusted twice a year, in March and in September. Why? Because the government tries to make sure the pension keeps up with the cost of living. Prices go up, life gets more expensive, and the pension has to reflect that. This September, the adjustment cycle is kicking in again. That means Centrelink will be reviewing payments and applying changes from the 20th of September. For many, this is a lifeline. It means more dollars in their bank accounts to help handle rising prices. But for others, especially those near the income and asset cut-off lines, the changes can bring confusion or even disappointment. That's why we're here today, to explain what's happening, who benefits, and what you should expect. So, what exactly is happening this September? Centrelink is applying its routine age pension indexation, which means the payments are going up. Now, you might be thinking, all right, but how much? Is it enough to help me with my bills? Here's the good news. The pension will see an increase. The government has announced that these changes are designed to keep up with the rising cost of living, things like groceries, rent, and electricity. While the exact dollar amounts can vary depending on whether you are single or part of a couple, the important thing to remember is that your payment is set to go up, not down. This update matters because for many seniors, Even a small increase, maybe $20, $30 or $40 extra per fortnight, can make a real difference. That's a bag of groceries, a contribution toward your electricity bill, or even money you can put aside for an unexpected expense. Now let's pause here and talk about why these increases happen in the first place. The pension doesn't just randomly go up, it's tied to the cost of living in Australia. When inflation rises, meaning when the overall prices of goods and services go up, the pension needs to rise as well. Think about it. If bread that used to cost $2 now costs $3, and milk that was $1.50 metres now costs $2.50, your money doesn't stretch as far. Without adjustments, your pension would lose value. That's why the government reviews the pension twice a year, to try to make sure seniors can still afford the basics. This September's increase is meant to match that reality. It's not a bonus payment or a one-off stimulus. It's a regular adjustment to protect your financial security. Let's talk about how this plays out depending on your household. If you're a single pensioner, your payment increase will look slightly different compared to if you're part of a couple. This is because the pension system takes into account whether you're living alone or sharing expenses with a partner. Single pensioners often face higher costs per person, for example, paying rent or utilities without anyone to share the bills. That's why the single age pension rate is usually higher than the rate per person for couples. On the other hand, if you're in a couple, both of you will see a rise in your payments, though the per person amount is lower. Together, though, the combined household benefit often works out fairly. Here's the key takeaway. Whether you are single or part of a couple, your payments are rising this September. Now, here's another big part of the September changes, the income and asset test thresholds. These are the rules Centrelink uses to decide how much pension you get. The income test looks at how much money you earn from things like part-time work, investments, or superannuation. The asset test looks at what you own, your property, not including your family home, your savings, your investments, and so on. In September, these thresholds are also adjusted. That means the amount you're allowed to earn or own before your pension starts to reduce will also increase. For example, if before you could only earn a certain amount each fortnight without losing pension money, now you might be able to earn a little more and still keep the same payment. This is really important because it gives seniors more flexibility. If you pick up a few shifts at a casual job, or if your investments perform slightly better, you're less likely to lose pension dollars as quickly. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine a single pensioner named Margaret. She gets the age pension and also earns a small income from casual work at a local shop. Before September, if Margaret earned $200 a fortnight, her pension payment might start to reduce. But after the new thresholds in September, she might be able to earn up to $230 or $250 before her payment is reduced. That's extra money in her pocket, both from the pension increase itself and from the ability to earn a little more without penalty. Now multiply that across thousands of seniors, and you see why these updates matter so much. It's easy to hear about government changes and think it's just politics. But the age pension is not politics. It's people's lives. These numbers translate directly into your day-to-day living. Knowing about the September changes early gives you the power to plan. It means you can check your budget, know what's coming into your account, and make better choices about your expenses. It also means you can double-check that Centrelink has your information correct, so you don't miss out on what you're entitled to. And remember, not everyone's situation is the same. Your pension amount depends on your personal circumstances. That's why it's so important to stay informed. Before we talk about preparation, let's make sure we're clear about who can actually get the age pension. Eligibility is one of the most common areas of confusion, so let's break it down simply. First, you must meet the age requirement. Right now, the qualifying age for the age pension in Australia is 67 years old. This applies to men and women alike. Once you reach that age, you can apply to see if you qualify. Second, you need to meet the residency requirement. This usually means you must be an Australian resident and have lived here for at least 10 years in total, with at least 5 of those years being continuous. There are exceptions in certain situations, but this is the basic rule. Third, there are the income and asset tests we touched on earlier. Centrelink uses these to decide how much you should receive. If you have a lot of money coming in, or if you own significant assets, your pension might be reduced, or you may not qualify at all. Now let's take a closer look at how Centrelink decides the amount of pension you get. Think of it like a 3-step process. Centrelink first checks whether you meet the basic rules. Are you 67 or older? Have you lived in Australia long enough? If yes, they move on. Centrelink looks at any income you earn. This could be wages from part-time work, money from superannuation, or returns from investments. If your income is below a certain limit, you may receive the full pension. If it's higher, the pension payment is reduced gradually. Next, Centrelink looks at what you own. This includes savings in the bank, investment properties, shares, and other assets. Your family home is not counted, but most other things are. Like with income, if your assets are below the limit, you can get the full pension. If they are higher, your pension is reduced. Centrelink will run both tests, income and assets, and then the test that gives you the lower pension is the one they use. This means your payment is always calculated conservatively, but fairly within the rules. The first step is to make sure your information with Centrelink is accurate and up to date. If your income, savings or living arrangements have changed recently, you should let Centrelink know. Why? Because if they have old information, they might calculate your pension incorrectly. You could miss out on money you deserve, or worse, you could end up with an overpayment that you'll later have to pay back. The second step is to check your MyGov account or contact Centrelink directly to see what your new payment will be after September 20th. Sometimes the government sends letters or online notifications explaining your new rate. Reading these carefully will help you plan. The third step is to review your household budget. Ask yourself, with this small increase, how can I make the most of it? Should I put it toward groceries, electricity, or set it aside as a buffer? Even small increases can have the most impact when planned wisely. Let's be honest. Money stress is one of the hardest burdens to carry in retirement. It can steal your peace of mind and even affect your health. But preparation turns that stress into control. Knowing what's coming in September gives you confidence. It means you're not caught off guard. And remember, you're not alone. Millions of Australians depend on Centrelink payments, and every single one of them is facing these changes together. By staying informed and prepared, you can face September with calm instead of worry. I want to pause here for a moment and talk about something we don't often hear in government updates: the emotional side of the pension. Numbers and rules are one thing, but behind every pension payment is a human being, a mother, a father, a grandmother, a grandfather, someone who has contributed to this country their entire lives. That's why these updates are more than just adjustments. They represent respect. They represent recognition that seniors deserve to live with dignity, not anxiety. When the pension increases, even by a small amount, it's a reminder that you are valued. And that's something I never want you to forget. The age pension doesn't work alone. Many seniors also receive additional support payments from Centrelink, and these are sometimes affected by the same indexation updates in September. Let's look at a few examples. One of the most important is rent assistance. For those who rent their home, rent assistance is added on top of the age pension to help with housing costs. Just like the pension, this amount is also reviewed and can increase in September. Even a small rise here can make a difference when rents keep climbing. Another support is the energy supplement. This is a small extra payment given to many pensioners to help with electricity and gas bills. While the supplement itself is usually fixed, your eligibility to keep receiving it often depends on your pension status. So, if your age pension changes, it's good to check whether your energy supplement stays the same. Then there's concession cards. Holding a pensioner concession card can save you hundreds of dollars each year on healthcare, prescriptions, and even public transport. The September changes won't take this away, but it's a reminder to always check that your card remains valid and up to date. Together, these supports can add layers of help. It's not just about one pension payment. It's about the whole package of assistance that keeps life manageable. Now, while most of these changes bring good news, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, remember that if your income or assets go up, it may affect your eligibility for some payments. For example, if you start earning more money after September because of casual work or investment returns, your pension might be reduced even though the thresholds are higher. Second, always double-check your bank statements after September 20th. Make sure the new payment matches what Centrelink has told you. Mistakes are rare, but can happen. And catching them early is the best way to avoid problems later. Third, keep an eye on letters or notifications from Centrelink. These will explain exactly what your new payment is and why. If something doesn't look right, don't hesitate to call or visit a Centrelink office for clarification. When we step back and look at the bigger picture, the September updates show us something powerful. Retirement is not about standing still. Life keeps changing, prices keep rising, and government systems keep adjusting. It can feel overwhelming at times, but remember, knowledge is your best tool. The more you understand how these payments work, the better you can plan, and the more control you'll have over your financial future. And even though the increases may not solve every problem, they are a step forward. They represent recognition of your needs. They represent the government's attempt, however imperfect, to support those who have given so much to this country. But more importantly, I want you to feel seen and valued. Because the age pension is not just money. It's recognition that after a lifetime of work you deserve peace, dignity, and the security of knowing you can cover your basic needs. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this video helped you understand the changes, please take one moment right now to subscribe to the channel. It's free, and it means you'll always stay updated on news that could make a real difference in your life. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and remember, you are not alone in this journey. We are a community, and together we face these changes with strength and hope.